Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're breaking down a major development that has sent shockwaves through the battlefield and diplomatic circles alike. Ukraine has just delivered what many analysts are calling a critical hit, and the implications of this moment stretch far beyond a single strike or operation. To truly understand why this matters, we need to look at what happened, how it happened, and what it means for the direction of the conflict moving forward. Over the past months, the war has settled into a grinding phase where gains are measured in meters rather than miles, and victories often come at enormous cost. In this context, any successful Ukrainian operation that disrupts Russian capabilities carries outsized importance. This latest critical hit was not just about physical damage, but about timing, precision, and psychological impact. It demonstrated once again that Ukraine retains the ability to strike decisively, even under intense pressure and despite limitations in resources. What makes this event especially significant is the target itself. Rather than a random battlefield clash, this strike focused on a key asset that supports Russia's broader military operations. Whether logistical, command-related, or infrastructure-based, the damage inflicted directly affects Russia's ability to sustain momentum. In modern warfare, cutting supply lines, disrupting coordination, and degrading critical systems can be just as decisive as capturing territory, and Ukraine appears to understand this deeply. This operation also highlights how Ukraine has adapted its strategy over time. Early in the conflict, survival and defense were the priorities. As the war evolved, Ukraine shifted toward calculated offensives designed to maximize impact while minimizing losses. The critical hit we're discussing today fits that pattern perfectly. It was not reckless or symbolic. It was targeted, deliberate, and rooted in solid intelligence. Another key aspect to consider is the role of intelligence and coordination. Successful strikes like this don't happen by chance. They require accurate, real-time information, careful planning, and precise execution. Ukraine's ability to pull this off suggests improvements not only in its own intelligence networks, but also in its integration with modern surveillance, reconnaissance, and targeting methods. This is a reminder that this conflict is as much about information as it is about firepower. From a psychological standpoint, the impact of this hit cannot be overstated. For Ukrainian forces, it serves as a morale booster at a time when fatigue and attrition weigh heavily. It reinforces the belief that their efforts are making a difference and that strategic victories are still possible. For Russian forces, on the other hand, it introduces uncertainty and pressure. Knowing that critical assets are vulnerable forces, commanders to divert resources to defense, stretching already strained capabilities. On the international stage, this development also sends a powerful message. Supporters of Ukraine are watching closely, looking for evidence that assistance and cooperation are translating into tangible results. A successful critical hit strengthens the argument that continued support is not only justified but effective. It shows that Ukraine can leverage help wisely and turn it into meaningful battlefield outcomes. At the same time, this event may influence diplomatic calculations. Every significant strike reshapes perceptions about leverage and endurance. If Ukraine can continue to deliver such blows, it may alter how negotiations are approached in the future. Strength on the battlefield often translates into stronger positions at the negotiating table, and moments like this contribute to that dynamic. It's also important to understand that Russia is unlikely to ignore this development. History shows that critical hits often lead to countermeasures, adjustments in strategy, and sometimes escalation. Russian forces may respond by increasing defenses around key assets, shifting deployments, or attempting their own high-impact strikes. This creates a cycle where each move provokes a response, raising the stakes on both sides. Technologically, this event underscores how modern warfare has changed. Precision, adaptability, and integration matter more than sheer numbers alone. Ukraine's ability to strike critical targets reflects a learning curve that has been steep but effective. It shows how smaller forces, when well-coordinated and strategically focused, can challenge larger, more heavily equipped opponents. Civilian implications also deserve attention. While the term critical hit often brings to mind military hardware, the broader consequences can affect civilian infrastructure, energy supplies, and economic stability. Ukraine's careful targeting suggests an awareness of these risks and an effort to focus on military-relevant objectives. Nonetheless, the ripple effects of such strikes can still be felt far beyond the immediate area. Looking ahead, the big question is whether this critical hit marks a turning point or remains a significant but isolated success. Much depends on what follows. If Ukraine can build on this momentum, combining strategic strikes with sustained pressure, it could gradually shift the balance. If not, the conflict may return to its familiar pattern of attrition, where victories are fleeting and costly. What's clear, however, is that this moment reinforces a central truth about the war. It is far from static. Despite narratives of stalemate, both sides continue to adapt, innovate, and search for advantages. Ukraine's latest action proves that it still has the initiative in key areas and the capacity to surprise. As observers, it's crucial to avoid oversimplification. A single critical hit does not decide a war, but it can influence its trajectory. It shapes morale, alters calculations, and forces both allies and adversaries to reassess assumptions. In that sense, the importance of this event lies not just in what was destroyed or disrupted, but in what it represents. In the coming days and weeks, analysts will be watching closely for signs of follow-up operations, changes in Russian posture, and reactions from the international community. Each of these will provide clues about how significant this hit truly was. For now, one thing is certain: Ukraine has once again demonstrated resilience, capability, and strategic intent. This development serves as a reminder that in modern conflicts, decisive moments often come quietly through precision and planning rather than overwhelming force. Ukraine's critical hit is a case study in that reality. It shows how determination, intelligence, and adaptability can combine to produce outcomes that resonate far beyond the battlefield. As the situation continues to evolve, we'll keep breaking down what it means, separating noise from substance, and focusing on the developments that truly matter. If this strike is any indication, the story of this conflict still has many chapters left to be written, and the next one may be shaped by the momentum Ukraine has just created.